everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Let's see who we have here. We have Abhi. Hi, sir. How are you? Thank you, Abhi. Love you from your fan, Abhi Rawal. Thank you very much, Abhi. Thank you for being here, spending some time with us. Let me know where you are located. Is it India, UK, somewhere else? And we have so far few people here, but no questions. So in the meantime, I'll have a sip of my drink. Usually we don't have um, live streams on Sunday, but it's a hot day out there. Not much to do really. It's a bit too hot, I guess, for us who live in Canada. But so Abhi says Canada, right? Abhi, you're in Canada, are you? Oh yeah, yeah, I remember. Oh yes, yes, Abhi. Yes, you're now in Canada. Good for you. Yes, yes, I remember now. Excellent. How is Ontario treating you? Hope you're having a good experience there. I was in Toronto years ago when I was working for a computer company, and they had training centers there. So they would send all trainees from all across Canada to the learning center, training center in Toronto. I liked Toronto. It was good, but it was all tall buildings of concrete and not much nature. I sure prefer British Columbia, Vancouver. I have the ocean here about 5 minutes away from my place, and I can take a walk on the seawalk. And summers in Toronto, when we would come out of the training center to go for lunch at the lunch hour, just to cross the street, I would be soaked in sweat because it was humid, it was hot, and it was pretty much unbearable. And then winters, there were some courses in the winter that we went there, and it was cold like hell. I mean, hell is not cold, I guess, but it was very cold, snowing and all that. So anyhow, it's two extreme ends, and yeah, I wouldn't switch it from Vancouver. So let's see. We have, I guess, no questions here. Everybody's having their balance and no need for me to be here. So perhaps it's time for me to mosey on and do other things. No, we have Orlando Osuna that just sent us a chapter of his book. How did you get that much in? Usually, it doesn't let that much writing in one message. How did that happen? It says, hello, Meran. Orlando Osuna, 45, Albuquerque, New Mexico, USA. Thank you for that. And it says, I wanted to expand a little about my situation, which I had previously asked you about. I broke up with my girlfriend 2 weeks ago. I have been feeling like contacting her, even though I broke up with her myself. I met her 3 years ago and dated briefly since I broke up with her after I found out a close friend of mine and her were talking to each other. Even though she swear there was nothing between them, I broke her off over that situation. Didn't you tell me, or was it somebody else in different story that later on she told you or you found out that she actually had slept with that friend? Or am I just mixing up two different people? So my question would be, mm, why would she even be talking to your friend when she's your girlfriend? And what is she trying? How would she feel if you would be texting with her girlfriend while you guys were together? I mean, that's not cool. I don't care if she's sleeping with the guy or not, but what's the purpose of it? We know that pretty much there is no such thing as being a guy being friend with a pretty girl. I mean, there's always the reason is that he wants to be intimate with her. Otherwise, why would he be? I mean, he wants friends. There are people who are, he can be friend with, but so, and the girl is talking to a guy. Maybe she doesn't want to sleep with the guy, but she's using him to get more confidence or get attention. And that kind of a relationship really is not spelling loyalty or commitment or a balance in the relationship because what's the reason? Is he a, let's say, mathematician and you're taking a mathematics course that you want to get some input as far as learning the formulas? I can understand that. Is it a philosophical discussion for a project? I can understand that. But you texting another guy when you are in a relationship with another guy, what can you make out of it? Even if nothing's happening, but how would that make your boyfriend feel? Let's say you're talking to the girl, or if you you would be talking to your girlfriend's girlfriend, how would that make the girlfriend feel? I don't think that's healthy for a relationship. That's how I think. And Orlando continues and says, I also found out she had dated a man that was separated from his wife, legally still married, for those 3 years that we were not together. I'm still into her because of sex life was great and we had great chemistry. I keep feeling I feel like crap being away from her regardless, even though I hate that she did. Please advise, feeling devastated. Well, first of all, why should you feel devastated? I understand that sex is not there and you want the sex, but if your relationship or your desire for her is only based on sex and she's not committed to you or loyal to you, so what are you really getting in this relationship? You don't get loyalty, you don't get faithfulness, you don't get commitment, but you get sex. But you have no other compatibility on consciousness level, which is where relationships takes place and causes the relationship to hold or last long. Yet you still want to be with her, even though the ingredients to keep the relationship going as healthy and long lasting is not even there because the commitment is not there, loyalty is not there. She's talking with another guy, your friend, so your ego is not really fluffed. So you're actually selling yourself short because you're lazy ass and you don't want to go and find other girls. That there are many other women out there who want to be committed to the right guy, and you finding someone that you can resonate with, then you can go on further to see if you guys are on the same page as far as qualities and expectations, such as loyalty and bonding on conscious level and things having common and so on. So what you're saying is that you are believing your thought saying that you're devastated. But you don't question the thought. Why am I devastated? Why should I be devastated? For sex? Well, then after I have sex, I still have those issues that are not resolved, which where relationships are made or broken up. So why don't I just understand that it is sex that I'm missing, not her? And if that's the case, I, you know, put my sleeves up and go and try to find other possibilities and opportunities. That would be finding a solution rather than the constantly sitting telling yourself that, oh, I'm devastated. Well, you're devastated. What's the solution? Solution is maybe get busy with the projects that you like to complete in life, things that you want to learn, go to the gym and get, fit if you're not fit. And if you're fit, get fitter and create adrenaline and create dopamine and see friends and oxytocin and so on and feel good about yourself, which gives you the confidence which you would approach. Maybe you will approach life differently and you will be naturally expressing interest or attracting other energies that these girls may be attracted to your energy, feeling good, and it's a starting point to get to know them. But he was just sitting and thinking about that's the only sex that was available, and because it was available, I should just pursue it because it's easier. Then you will always feel uh, low confidence, lack of self esteem, and feel defeated because you're not getting what you think it's available and was available to you. And obviously, for a certain reason of expectations and not meeting your standards, you had reasons to break up. Those reasons that you broke up are still there. But your desire for pleasure is now trying to trump your reasons now that you have completed the action of breaking up. Now you say, okay, I'm satisfied. I broke up. Now I want her back. But when you get her back, all those reasons that made you to break up are still there. So what's the use of constantly thinking, oh, the sex was good, so I should put up with it? No, if you could put up with it, you would have put up with it. You wouldn't have broken up, but you couldn't, which is rightfully so. So go on. And that was the duration of this relationship. And now go on and find another one because that same situation will arise again, even if you guys get back together. Why don't you just have some balls and say to yourself, well, she didn't meet my standards. She infringed on what is right in a relationship. She started texting and chatting with another guy. It would be the same as if I start texting and chatting with another girl, her girlfriend. You wouldn't do that. And if she would raise hell if should you do that, you would understand. And so I think you just move on and find another girlfriend and let her go. And, she may go and sleep with that other guy. But your beef or your maybe reason for wanting to get back is one, sex. The other one is you want to avoid her to sleep with that friend because that makes you feel like, oh well, he was better than me. She left me for that. Hey, don't go there. Just say she made a mistake, and I'm not interested in the kind of girl that does these sort of things. And stand your ground and go and find another girl. Otherwise, you're just going to be slave to possibility of sex, and you'll not be concerned about the quality of the woman but the pleasure that you receive from her. And the pleasure will be ruling your life from then on. You can't handle it now and you can't deal with it now. That will always be there. And other things that she's going to end up doing. Obviously, she doesn't have proper standards. If she was, let's say, if this guy, let's say, was one of her old friends that they never had any hanky panky with each other before she met you, And now that she's with you as boyfriend girlfriend, and she continues texting with that old friend, maybe that's acceptable because it's an old friend. They already had an opportunity to do something intimate together. They didn't. Obviously, they don't have that interest, but they have that friendship interest. Well, okay, maybe even that is kind of, for us guys, just not so palatable. But chatting up, texting with your friends, come on, and you want to forego that? Say, oh, it's okay because sex was good. What kind of a man are you then? I mean, you have no principle for yourself. Where do you draw the line? When she actually sleeps with them? Because why is the guy talking to you and why he hasn't told you himself? And why is he actually talking to her while he knows she's your girlfriend? Obviously, because he wants to be intimate with her. Why us? What's the reason a guy talks to a pretty girl? It's not philosophical. Naturally, we are built for procreation. We're built to love women and want women and pursue them. So that's why he's doing it. So he's not, you know, okay. Okay, let's move on from that to App. He says, your laugh I like the most makes me laugh always. Sorry, I got to go work now. Lots of love to you. Thank you very much, Happy. I appreciate it. Very kind of you. I'm delighted that you're enjoying the live streams and videos. And thank you for stopping by and saying hello. Have a wonderful day and good time at work. And we go to Brithao Barua. Says, hello, Mehran, male 33, India. What's your view on the saying age is just a number? Yeah, it's just a number, but it's an indication of your level of achievements, wisdom, experience, expectations, standards. So differences. Um, give me a context. For example, when some girls, let's say, somehow they find my email or from the old dating apps or whatnot, and they are like 26-year-old, 23-year-old, or 33-year-old, and express interest to my, let's say, profile, or they found me maybe through the YouTube. They maybe like the stuff that I talk about. And when I express the fact that there's so much difference in age, and it is best for you to find someone closer to your age, and they say age is a number, it's nonsense. It's just nonsense. It doesn't work. I mean, it is always easy for a man to be interested with a woman who is way younger, like she's in her late or early 20s, and the man could be in his 40s, 50s, or 60s. It is easy for the man to be interested in a 25-year-old, 30-year-old physically. I'm sure it's very pleasant. However, beyond the physical connection, so to speak, there is no other connection that could last. Maybe for a few weeks, different interests, sport interests, if they're both in shape and interested in sports, or movies and things, but in intellectual level and life experiences, there would be nothing in common for them to build on that. So it would be prudent and wise of the one of them, hopefully the older one in the equation, to bring about to the notion of the other that this is not going to work because we're in two different pages of life. There are many things I've done I'm no longer interested that you want to do. And there are many things that we have experienced and we want to talk about or discover. that you may not, or the other one may not be interested in. And life takes place the relationship takes place in the consciousness. And if these consciousnesses are so far apart, what's there to bond them? So the wise thing would be not to go through, even though some would say age is a difference. Bullshit. Age got a lot to do with the quality of the, unless, it's some special circumstance that, I don't know, she's 30 years old and guy is like, I don't know, 55, but she's so philosophical or in different certain sciences and education that is interested in such discussions and finding things in common. The older partner, and they could find things in common on those levels. But still, when the age is too far apart, there are always going to be some natural differences beyond the normal amount of conflicts and divisions, which is normal in any two consciousnesses. So it's it's a nice thing to say, but it's not really something you can count. Brithau says, at what age a man can be called an old man? To whom? To himself? It's best to not focus on how old he is by himself and just do his best and enjoy and take pride in the experiences and the longevity that he has had and enjoy those experiences in his daily life. But again, in the opinion of the woman, how old when a man is an old man is again depends on what woman is looking for and how old she is. So you can't really have a number. I used to think when I was like 12 years old, I had four uncles, and one of them was 32. I thought that he's about to die because I thought he's so old, man. The other uncle was 21. I said, "Oh, he's really old." But the older uncle, 32, he must have one foot on his grave. But then when I became 20, I could see how spring chicken we are. I thought I'm really old at 21. So, wow, I'm an adult. And then age 30 is, wow, I'm old now. I was such a kid then. And then again, I thought, wow, no. When I was 20, I thought maybe 40s. When I was 30, I thought, oh, 30 is not old. 50s. When I was 40, I thought, no, 50s. When I was 50, I thought, well, I'm not old. I'm still strong and refereeing soccer. I've got 600 games under my belt, men's leagues and women's leagues and high school leagues, and I'm running faster than all of them all the time, 90 minutes with no substitution. But these guys constantly change, and they're young and running, but I'm running faster than I'm at the ball. When they shoot it, I'm closer to the ball right away. So I said, I can't be that old. I'm not old. And that was 50. And so then when I was 60, I said, well, it looks like I'm still okay. I'm still, the jury is still out. So I don't know. Sometimes when I do a little bit too much and I get a bit of injury in the gym, I say, oh, shit, maybe I'm getting old. So, all right. Are we done? Mhm. Yesterday we had a very busy gathering. So many people there. But today we don't. Of course, usually people don't expect today to have a live stream. Pretau says you are 65 by years, but 20 years by attitude. How do you maintain that? First of all, I'm 66. In about what couple of months, I'll be 67. Uh, it was just yesterday. I was jumping 6 horses, 96 fences a day, training 6 horses per day for show jumping. I was I was 17 years old, and I won under 18 championships. Then I went to university, came back. 1975, I won one national event championships. Very difficult. 64 riders we had from all over. Horses were like $1 million horses at the time. $1 million was a lot for horses. My horse was a regular horse, but it was a champion. It's an old one, 18 years old. The horse was old. We won the championship over all those 64. It was a very tough, very difficult championship tournament because usually there are different kinds of obstacles in the parkour where the horses go and jump from different ones according to the numbering system and the design of the parkour. But this particular event was diagonal, and usually diagonals are hoaxers, like the wider ones. Some of them are straight up. The straight up ones are very difficult. And when you put two of the straight ones in front of each other, it becomes super difficult. When you put three of them, the horse got to come right by the straight up fence and climb up pretty much. You can't be jumping from far away because then it can hit the top railing. So you got to come all the way under and go up and come down and then have the right strides for next 2 strides and then jump again because there's special distance between the two jumps. And then maybe you can do the third one. That's already very difficult when they incorporate it in a regular parkour, which has all kinds of jumps. But this particular one had 6 of these. The jump was set for the horse to go up and then down. 1, 2, up, down. 1, 2, up. That's all you could maneuver. Go up, horse comes down. 1, 2, up. And there were 6 of them. And each would go up. The first one was this much, and the second one higher, third one higher, fourth one. And we had 4 jump offs. I was number 64. We all went clear, 34 of us. The rest were, expelled, like they couldn't make it. And the fences went up, obstacles went higher. Out of 34, 24 went clear. I was number 24. And then it went higher. Out of 24, 12 went clear. And I was number 12. And then it went higher. Out of 12, 4 went clear. And I was number 4, the last one. And then it went higher to about 160 meters was the last jump. So starting from a lower one, higher, 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 higher to 170, which was the highest. And they were all straight up. Very difficult. The only horse that went through was mine. It was an amazing night. It finished at 1 o'clock in the morning. And it was like a stadium, like a soccer stadium. My name was being chanted, and I could not believe the glory of the night. And we had real serious contenders, horses, all different champions from all over the country, and horses from Ireland and all over. But me and my old horse, we just did it all. So what I was trying to say, what was it that I got into that? I don't know how. I'm always going toward the horses. And by the way, that's my colonel. That's Colonel Nishati, who was the one of the top graduates of military school of riding in Saumur, France. He was master in training horses and teaching, and we had amazing time. He was a role model for all of us kids. Very strict, very disciplined, expected the best, and very kind, but very serious military man. And we were just good riders. We were not allowed to use spurs or whips, props, and we were extremely good riders. He trained us well. And he was a role model in life. His mannerism, his discipline, his philosophy, his honesty, his clarity. And he knew my father, and they were friends. And the only man in my life that I called like my father, because I liked my father very much, I was very close to him, never compared him to anybody else. But the only man that I called just like my father was Colonel. Colonel was a role model. And so horses have a special place in my heart. They're like my family. When I see a horse, I feel like, wow, it's like my family. All right, that was for your entertainment. I don't know how I got on that, but there it is. And Birtha says, can you share your diet plan and exercise? Well, my diet plan is simple. I get up, I have a egg white shake, egg white protein powder. I pour a little bit of cocoa into it, a little bit of peanut butter, a banana, and sometimes a couple of dates, and the green mixture of the greens powder. And then I either use coconut milk or almond milk or uh, what is it? What is it? I forgot the. I'm blank. Um, Hang on. Let me look. Remember the name. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. Oatmeal. Yeah, I would either add, about a half a cup of oatmeal into it, or use oat milk, and that would be. And sometimes I would put, if I don't put the greens, I put blueberries, depending on what I have in the fridge. And that would be my breakfast. I'll have about, I don't know, 20, 30 different kind of supplements, astaxanthin, alpha lipoic acid, different kinds of stuff, vitamin C, vitamin D3, zinc, all these things that you need to have. So I have that every day. Then I don't have anything. If I get really hungry a few hours later, I'll have maybe some fish, or maybe some eggs, and then I have fruits like whatever is available in the market. Summertime, some watermelon would be good. Keeps the kidneys healthy and so on, and lots of uh, nitric oxide. And so then nighttime, I go to the gym, depending on what kind of body part you want to work on. I work on that for about an hour or two. Try to keep it to an hour. Then the same night, maybe before gym or after gym, or on different nights when I don't go to gym, I go for about 10 kilometers of a walk, about 6 kilometers flat on the beach, and about 2 kilometers straight up, which is a very hard uphill. So my heart rate goes up to about 142 for about 15, 20 minutes, give and take. And they come back and flat walk back to home. And then I do my work and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. And then I have dinner after gym. I'll have dinner. Usually fish, but sometimes I have steak or some low fat meat. But I prefer fish for my age. So now, holy holy Scheisse is here. Let's speak it the language that you can understand. Holy Scheisse is here. Uh, just one moment. Let me actually see if I can translate it perfectly to German. Heilig Scheisse, yeah? Heilig Scheisse. Is that how you say it? Heilig Scheisse is here. Wie geht's? Wie geht's? Dear Heilig Scheisse. It says, I'm around 32, male Germany. What are the what are the three biggest questions in your life you couldn't solve yet? What is keeping Mehran awake at some nights? Hmm. There could be lots of things, or it could be none of things. There are lots of things wrong in the world, I think. Sometimes my question is, why isn't life meeting my expectations? The quality of stability, fairness, why universe is not interfering with the assholes who are trying to run the world to ground, criminals. And I don't mean criminals who are selling drugs or I'm talking about the politicians, the criminals, the globalists. But in all seriousness, I guess fear, fear which results in not having the solution that you wish to have in face of adversities. Like you wish to have the solution to something that you can't know what's going to end up like. You want to know it now, but you can't. You have no choice but waiting for its process. I guess it's time. I like to be able to travel in time, fix things, instead of waiting for them. When we come to a understanding of the outcome, that probably is my problem. Um, I don't like my faith or the faith of people that I care and love to be in the hands of elements that are not in our control. Health, safety, I want to guarantee safety for all. I want to be able to be solution, to be able to solve any problem for anyone that I love, for all the good people in the world. I love them all. These are my problems. All right. Holy Scheiße, that was your. Yeah. So we have now Jordi says, what would you say to your younger Mehran? Okay, that's a good question too. I'd say good job. I definitely say good job. I'm proud of you. And I say that. I do when I look into mirrors sometimes, especially when I'm pondering something and trying to reflect. I look in the mirror and I say, good man, I'm proud of you. You did well. And I did. I didn't cut corners. I tended to my responsibilities. I did my duties. And I did make hard decisions. I did put wisdom ahead of desire. Not always, but as much in the very serious matters I could. And I did. And I went through hell when I needed to go through, and I prevailed by not giving up. So I say to young Mehran, good job. I'm proud of you. And this is how I've always asked you guys to live. Live your life so you can enjoy it two times. One, when you're actually faced with the decisions and the activities that you need to make, which is once when you're making those commitments and activities and decisions. And one more time, you enjoy it when you look back and you see how what you've done. So you enjoy your life. Live your life in a way that you will enjoy two times. Once when you're living it, and next when you're looking back how you did, how you made your decisions, how you conducted yourself. Which means think deep and judge well before you do something. Sizdra says, Sir, I have a question. My ex broke up with me 6 months ago. He used to take money from me. First of all, you tell me how old you are, if you're a man or woman, and where you're tuning in from. I'll get back to you. Remember, all of that should be included in your questions. I can tell you might be from India because you said lakhs. I think that's the money in India, or thousands, or something of that nature. I've heard that. And you probably are a lady, but again, I want those cleared. So I go to the next question, I'll come back to you. And holy shit says deep answer. Thank you very much. I feel quite the same. Okay, okay. Heilig Scheiße. Change that bloody name. Uh, Stargirl says, love your channel. Please, could you talk about the law of attraction? This states that your thoughts create your reality. That's a fucking bullshit. Excuse my French. Which is extremely anxiety inducing for OCD sufferers. What do you think? It's a pure bullshit. What the law of attraction is talking about is not talking about OCD, so don't mix them up. at all. It has nothing to do with the OCD sufferers. It's not a general statement. It's a statement about how to manifest what it is that you want to accomplish in life. Such as you want to be rich, you can think about ideas, live and breathe it, make efforts and plan for it. I don't know, make a lemonade stand and advertise it in all the doors in the neighborhood, you know, promote it, have specials, have some shows running by the tables. People stand while they're standing watching the shows. Somebody could go around with lemonade stuff already in the cups and offer it to them, and the other one could get the pay. So these organizations is like, you know, what you're thinking and planning can become your reality. Fine. It's talking about business. It's talking about uh, being comfortable and making things happen for yourself by fully focused on it. It's not talking about if intrusive thought shows up in your head, then you're going to be that intrusive. That's fucking bullshit. That's nonsense. It's just, if that was the case, if this whole thing was even true for anybody who wouldn't purposely try to plan and combine their thinking with actions, if you just keep thinking, no reality will come from that thinking. It's all garbage. But if you're thinking and include plans and actions and act on it, then we have a chance to make something happen. And who in the right mind who has intrusive thoughts would actually act on it? He's already been, you know, trying to say, what the fuck is this in my head? It's not going to act on it. So what you think is not going to become your reality in the case of intrusive thoughts and OCD and all that shit, because that's totally, you know, irrelevant to this particular example or state. So separate that. Uh, that has nothing to do with OCD at all. But in general, if that was the case, then I'm thinking about $1 million in the bank. But every time I go to the bank, there is no $1 million. So I'm really thinking, oh, gold, gold, silver, silver. Meditate on bullshit. This is supposedly to mean if you focus and meditate on and be serious about and put actions to work, your plans to action, and continue, persevere, and then you can make things and goals that you want to achieve have a better chance to be, you know, it's just pretty much it. Otherwise, it's got nothing to do with what you think becomes your reality. Is a pure bullshit in the general sense. It's in certain situations and certain plans and goals. But certainly not in anything to do with OCD or intrusive thoughts. You again, your OCD is catching up, trying to make sense and interpret everything that is out there. Absolutely not. So rest assured and relax. And Sizra says 21, India, Calcutta, 2.5 lakh in USD will be around $3,200. Okay, so let's go back to Sizra. Sizra says, Sir, I have a question. My ex broke up with me 6 months ago. He used to take money from me. He used to take money from me. He used to say he'll return it to me. He took around 2,500 lakhs from me. What should I do? What should you do? Why could he be allowed to take $3,200 from you? How silly can you be that you continue being in a relationship with a man who borrows that much money from you? First of all, you don't know why, you don't know what he did with it, and you have no paper from him to give it back to you. I don't know what kind of relationship you have, how close you were. Is it formal? Is it not formal? Obviously, you thought he's better than you, so you would want to do things to attract him or keep him. Now that he's gone away, broke up with you 6 months ago, he's not paying, you got to go. If you have any records of having given him that money, any paper or any paper trail, what he did with the money, what he bought with the money, or some way of to proving, then you got to go to the authorities. Tell them, listen, I'm going to give you a warning. If you don't, I'm going to tell my parents or your parents, or I'm going to go to the police, or I'm going to go to the lawyer. I'm going to, it's lots of money. You got to pay that back. Hmm? And if he did say, I'll pay you back in increments, and when he brings, let's say, $500, you write a receipt that on such and such date, I received $500 that I lent to so and so out of $3,200. The remaining debt is that much. That, and then have him sign it. Not you signing it, just have him sign it. You sign it, but if he signs it, because that would become suddenly an evidence that he has borrowed the full 32. You're just saying, okay, I'll give you a receipt for what you gave me. Receipt, $500 of total $3,200 debt. Received from whatever his name is, $500 out of $3,200 debt, and then sign it and have him sign it. So, yeah, you got to get that money back. Are you kidding? Jordi says, I'm male, 35 years old, from Belgium. Bonjour, bonsoir. Comment ça va aujourd'hui? Ce soir. It must be nighttime there. Says, I have problem with my self-esteem, and a lot of people react in a way to me without much respect. So it's like a circle. What is the best to do to gain confidence? Is it respect of the others, or is it the confidence? Look, people treat you the way they see you treat yourself. If they don't pay attention to you and you still say hello to them, well, they're not gracious or wise, most of them. So they think, oh, well, that's a way I can be higher than him and feel good about myself because I just found somebody who feels he's lower than me because he says hello and I just say, and he still bows to me. He says, very nice hello. So they use that. If you take your food and go and eat in the corner of the road, it will be affecting them differently than if you take your food and sit on a table with a proper tablecloth and proper fork and proper, chair. If you sit close to the toilet where your table is, like a bunch of tables, and one of them is close to the public bathroom, you're treating yourself, you're showing people that you really don't have so much respect for yourself. But if you treat yourself differently, people then see your expectations. So if you wear shabby clothes, people judge with their eyes off. Well, they treat you according to what you're wearing because they don't go any deeper than that. That has got nothing to do with what this person is wearing. He's a respectable man and so on and so forth. They don't. People are not all that wise. Many of them are stupid. So you need to train them. So you walk with a little bit of confidence, head high and chest out, rather than crouching and walking. You walk like this, and if you see somebody, wait for them to say hello. Sometimes people look at you like an idiot, and then you're polite and kind, and you say hello, then they go like this. It's like they're idiots. They're using the situation to make themselves feel elevated. Don't pay attention to those people. So keep your chest out, your head high, walk properly, go to the gym, get a little bit of posture, and then be kind, but don't be pushover. Little by little, people treat you differently. And hang around with people who respect you and don't hang around with the people who don't respect you. And the ones who don't respect you get a message that he's not hanging around us. Suddenly, your worth and value goes higher because you're not paying attention to them. Sometimes it's good to be humble, but to the right people who are humble themselves and they can understand that mentality and attitude. But there are people who are very low and weak, so they don't respond to humbleness. They take that as weakness. You don't want to be around those people. Stick around with positive people who are cheerful, happy, polite, respectful. And that whole attitude rubs onto you, and you benefit from the whole aura and the whole energy that is going through that kind of a group. And you gain self respect more because you're accepted, you're treated nicely, and that affects you, and you feel more confident. Don't mingle with the groups that they don't respect you. Cut out from them. And of course, endow yourself with, with the things that you're interested to learn. So increase your knowledge about certain things that you're interested, and do some fitness training to your levels and feel good about yourself. Create that adrenaline, socializing with people in the gym in a proper way. So you have the oxytocin being around the friends. You feel good about yourself. Proper nutrition and all that. And make sure you do lots of little good things in your life, including and starting with fixing up your bed as soon as you wake up. The moment you open your eyes, the first thing you do is fixing up your bed. That's already starts the day with the feeling of I accomplished something. I can accomplish something. I'm a doer. I accomplished something right away. And it looks good and I feel good about having done that. That feel good takes you all through the day. Then you go and do the rest of the business that you got to do. Put your clothes on properly, wear nice clothes, chic, clean. Doesn't have to be stylish, but clean and proper. So in that way, you have created this aura and energy in yourself of discipline and respect that I am capable of taking care of myself. Comb your hair nicely if you have hair. If you don't like me, put a hat on. Or just, don't wear anything, but just appreciate yourself, love yourself. How? By doing right things in life, make right decisions, make difficult decisions, attend to your responsibilities. Every little responsibility gives you confidence. Clean your room, vacuum it, make it tidy, gives you a good feeling of accomplishments. All these little things that are easy to do, you do them all day long. Builds expectations, respect, accomplishments, confidence, self-esteem. Right from there. And Stargirl says, thank you so much. It makes lots of sense. Yes, you're welcome. And Avatar says, male 40, UK. It says, hi, Meran. I hope you are well. Have you ever had to deal with financial difficulties? Oh, yes. When you were younger? Yes. If so, how did you get through it all? Well, I budgeted better and I continued working, never gave up. I never thought I'm a victim. I thought I have to work smarter, harder, more. Took all the opportunities, did not say, okay, I'll do it later. Let me just play some, I don't know, video game or watch a movie. No, I did my work first. In fact, if you treat yourself in a certain way, you become a role model for the people who are around you, including your children, if you have children. I remember I would always ask my son to do his homework before he watches his favorite programs on TV. But while he was doing his homework, I didn't watch TV either. I did my work, or whatever work it was. It wasn't like I would tell him not to watch TV until you do your homework, but I would watch TV. I would also do my work. So he could see that I'm not just asking him to do certain things, I am also doing that. So you teach by action, you teach by example. You don't just preach and command and dictate, but then you have different rules for yourself. It's like saying to your child, don't eat that, I don't know, fruit or that banana or that date or that peach, that apple, but you eat it yourself. No, you say something to your child not to do, you don't do it yourself. Because then it would mean that it has merits. What you're saying is not just double standard. It feels it's in a group. We're all doing it properly. So in your case, if you are having a little trouble with financial, you got to figure out what are the things that you're not doing and what are the things that you're not giving priority to, and you should do more of what could put you in line with the target, which is making some money. Maybe you get a second job. Maybe you work a little harder at your work. I don't know what your job is. And you start becoming a little bit more organized in the way you spend your money and in the way that you organize the food. Make sure it doesn't go to waste. Make sure it's fresh. You don't get sick with it. Make sure you use enough, not waste it. All these little things help more finances. And you increase your work. You get up earlier. You start your day earlier. Organize better. Make more calls if you're a salesman. Visit more places if you're a salesman. And pretty much those little things. Otherwise, there's no other way, really. Planning better, spending less, and working a little bit more smart. But don't neglect your fitness. Keep the fitness going because that brings so much needed neurotransmitters secreted in your brain that gives you more energy and more self-esteem and more hopefulness to accomplish what you want to accomplish. Caesar says, sir, he might think that money is an excuse for contacting me. The hell with him, what he thinks. Go get your money. What are you worried about what he thinks? Fuck him. He took your money and left, broke up with you, and now you're worried about what he's going to think? He's enjoying your money. Go get your money. I don't give a shit what he thinks. Excuse? What excuse? Are you serious about your money or not? Kick him in the ass and get the money. Not literally, I mean, through the legal means. Um, since it's been 6 months from our breakup, he used to take money and party with it and roam around with other girls. I don't get it. Why would you give him such money at all? He also had my card. He used to use it for other girls. I never asked him why. Why are you so weak? Why do you think that he's doing a favor to be in a relationship with him? He used your card and he used your and therefore, you know, when he uses your card, you're responsible to pay the card. But itemize all the things that shows on the card that you didn't spend and he bought it. And those products and services are obviously in still in his position if it's a product, or if it's a services, there are probably evidence that he was there, not you. You can use that through your lawyer or through your the advocacy or to your legal system to prove that he's taken the money and these are loans. He wasn't supposed, or tell him, listen, if you don't give me the money back, I don't know if you even, took my card with my permission. I gave you my card to do something, not other things with it. So the things that you bought that is extraordinary than I authorized, I didn't authorize them. So you owe me that. That's theft. I'm going to charge you with it. So, uh, listen, I'm not a lawyer. You got to call a lawyer in your area and find the legal means to recover this money because that was your silliness trying to what? Why would a girl, I've never heard a girl pay a guy like he's doing her a favor. It's just very bad. Pissing me off. All right. Jordy says, thank you. Welcome. Jordy says, I will do session about this soon with Skype. Okay, Jordy. And Avatar says, thank you, Mary. You're welcome. Jordy says, what do you think about marriage? Not much. It's necessary when you haven't, and it's a pain when you do it. It says, what do you think about marriage? Do you think a man is happier single with relationships without strings attached? At one point in time, when you're young and you've got so many girls around you, or you still haven't found the girl you're looking for, yeah, maybe that's how you think. But when you get older and you haven't gotten married, or not necessarily married, but don't have a family or certain kind of responsibilities that keeps you focused, you may at the older age feel lonely if you haven't kept in shape, if you're not active, if you're not going to the gym, if you're not involved in sports, if you're not having independent hobbies and the things you want to accomplish and projects that you haven't accomplished, then you may feel lonely. If you're busy at age 60, 65, 67, whatever, like me, you wouldn't care. If you go on a date, it's great. If you don't, you're fine. You're happy because you've got so many other things going in your life and you love doing them. And you have a relationship with your consciousness, with your philosophies, with learning, with research. So much there to please you. And of course, you find some intelligent, pretty girl that you like to spend some time with, discuss matters, topics of psychology, philosophy, or sports activities, or walk on the park, then you will, and it will be very enjoyable. Dinner date or whatnot. But if your whole life is dependent on a relationship and a girl, and if that makes you happy, and if you don't have it, then you're going to be miserable, then you're lonely to begin with, meaning you don't know what to do with your own consciousness, what to do with your own life, and you're not able to organize something and be happy and have fun with the things that are available and opportunities that are available in life. Then you're looking for excuses, somebody to entertain you, this girl, that movie, this, that. Uh, that becomes a little bit, this party, this girl, that friend. Then you're dependent on some other people's decisions, availability to make you happy or content. The contentment should come from your own consciousness, your ability to negotiate and relate, interact with life. So you do that, then you will choose a girlfriend based on qualities rather than need of not being lonely. All right. That business of no string attached doesn't happen. Every girl who's with you, there's a string. It might be invisible one, but there's a string. She may not show it to you, but it's attached. So, so either don't get involved, or if you get involved, you could be damn sure that there's a string attached. Just you didn't notice. You're too busy looking at her and enjoying the pleasure of being with her that you missed the attached string. Uh, All right. And and it says Jordan Peterson say that too. Say what about? Let me see about marriage and relationship. Okay. Um, Luke says no. Jordan Peterson is a very, very educated man. So thank you for the compliment. Luke Cases says male 22 England says hey Miran been dealing with HOCD and recently tried ERP by going back to watching Western TV shows. I avoided them because of LGBT representation, but I tried to go back to watching them. However, upon watching one, I saw an LGBT kiss scene and it made me feel a weird feeling and I feel triggered because of it. It's weird because I saw the scene before my HOCD theme as I am watching the series and I had no feeling before, wondering why it's happening now. You know, it's often you guys forget that human being reacts to sexually relevant things and events sexually. It has nothing to do with the sexual orientation. It has to do with the fact that human psyche reacts to anything sexually relevant sexually. I mean, for example, if you see a sex toy, you react to it sexually because you know what it is, what it's for, or at least you've seen it or you've heard of it. You can guess what it's for, what it does, what it's supposed to do. And so naturally, the brain, in the virtual sense, sees that, and then through that thought, body has a certain reaction to that image or thought, and then you take that reaction that is a normal follow-up of a thought or an image or suggestion of the brain, you take that reaction of the body as an evidence that that sexual connotation has a certain kind of a sexual orientation content to you. It's bullshit. It's got nothing to do. Your brain is creating all these connections when it's just simply relevancy of the sexual content of the topic, and the brain associates these things with the concept of sex. But you want to interpret it as having uh, relevance to sexual orientation. If you see two gay guys sucking each other's dick, well, you've had blowjob from a woman. You know how it feels, and your dick feels how it might feel in her mouth because your dick is involved. So when you see such a scene, you could actually feel how it could feel in your mouth because you've seen it, done it to you before, but by a woman. But you know exactly how she could feel because your dick was in her mouth. So you can feel how she feels by the way your dick is feeling. So when you see such a scene, it's not about a woman and a man, it's two men, but you have that action, brain associates it with how it would feel, regardless of the gender who is acting in it. And then suddenly you say, well, because I feel, understand how it feels in the mouth, then it must mean I'm interested. No, fuck, it's got nothing to do with that. So you gotta you gotta understand there's so much talk and suggestions and images of sexuality and the sexual acts and different orientations and sexual lifestyles and so on. So much talk about it that is already all that information seep through the consciousness. And the brain's job is to make thoughts. So when there's a sexual relevance of some kind, all those things that have seeped through, sexual things that have seeped through your consciousness, become triggered. And then you start to say, oh, that means something to me. No, it means nothing to you. It just means that the brain is capable of connecting all these suggestions and associations of different sexual lifestyles, or because the information has seeped through your consciousness, but doesn't mean it's of any interest to you. I mean, you go to a bazaar, you see all kinds of products, all kinds of food, all kinds of electronic, all kinds of textiles, all kinds of things, but you're not interested in anything, but they're all there. Just because they're there and you can see them, they're there, that doesn't mean they're interested in any of them. But you can recognize their existence. The same thing. There's so much information has come to the brain that's irrelevant to you, but they are there in the life, and they have somehow found their way as an information through the mediums and all that, and it's part of the inventory of your consciousness. But that doesn't mean just because they're triggered by an element of sex of different kind, and they're all coming to mind, and the association is present, then suddenly you are part of that lifestyle. No, you're not. We live by our vetoes and choices, not by suggestion, thoughts, and ideas and images and stuff that is irrelevant. So, hope that will help you sort that out. Luke says, thank you. This makes so much sense. Yes, it does. I know what I'm talking about. That's why I get so many millions of subscribers. All right. Jordy says about lonely alone after. Oh yeah, yes, I see what you mean. Jordy says, did you study psychology or something? Very curious what your background is, since you have a lot of knowledge. Actually, no, but my interest in such things gradually came to me. Since childhood, I was a little bit of a weird kid as far as detail oriented and pondered and interested about the positive energy and helping people to be balanced and deal with things and try to find solution to conflicts or divisions somehow for some reason. And then as I grew up and I went to university and I was interested, of course, and studied, practiced martial arts and meditation and understanding the relationship between mind and body, coordination, and the energy of the universe and our energy and its connection with the energy of the nature, and learn how to use that energy to heal and then meditate and use it in techniques and so on. It was a lifestyle of learning the energy of the universe, our key. And then after graduation, of course, I was always interested in more the stuff about our psyche, because I myself had lots of OCD challenges childhood and growing up, but I never labeled them or never thought of them as anything weird. I just thought, okay, I gotta wash my hand 10 times, otherwise something bad happens, so let me wash my hands. So it was annoying, but I didn't label it. But then, of course, when the opportunity came and I started talking about relationships and breakups, because there were people who were having such circumstances of breaking up. The girl left them, they wanted to kill themselves, and the boy left them, the girl wanted to kill herself. And these devastations after breakup became topic of my study through my ability to deliver. And I remember Started when my son wanted to break up with his girlfriend, and he told me about it, and we talked about it. And then when we were talking about it, he said, "Dad, the stuff you're telling me is actually very helpful. It makes sense." And so I thought there must be other young kids and people around the world who may benefit from some of this stuff that I, at this age, have learned and can share. So I started making it, making videos and discuss about my way of treating my ex after marriage and how a man should treat his ex after marriage, interact, and how the husband and wife who have broken up and divorced, they should interact in front of the children and why, and so on and so forth. And then I had this gentleman from Germany contact me through my comments in the videos that his wife left him and he had an 8-year-old son, I think he was, and he was devastated. So I worked with him for a while, and he went. He felt great, and he was on his way to balance and so on. So I didn't hear from him for a couple of months, and then one day I received an email from him, and he said, "I just wanted to say hello and thank you for what you did for me, and I wanted to give you a gift." And the gift was a link. He said, "I think a man like you can do a lot with this." So, me having been a student of Aikido, martial arts, and meditation, and understanding the relationship between mind and body, and very interested in the power of energy and the mind, and so on. So, I opened the link, and to me, it was like fish to water, what I've been looking for without knowing that I'm looking for that. It was a link for a master of hundreds years ago who had inwardly analyzed his own psyche on a daily basis deeply to the point that quantum physics professors of universities in UK and famous psychologists around the world would travel and gather around him, around this man who never learned his stuff from books. He learned it inwardly by analyzing. He was an educated man, but not in psychology. He inwardly learned everything about his own psyche and analyzed every bit of it. They would gather around him and ask their questions. Psychologists and quantum physics professors would ask their questions and discuss in conversation, discussions. So I would watch these. I could not wait till I come from work at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon and watch the lectures and discussions till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And then I would often walk on the beach at night, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and record the lectures and the topics that I listened, that I heard earlier, and analyzed in my recording while I was walking, and come up with new analogies, a new way of delivery, new way of digesting it, and making it easy to understand and contemplate, ponder on it, and understand it deeply, and examine it on myself, see how it works, how can I apply it to what challenges that I could see that I want to learn about my own psyche. And so I did that for years. For years. Sometimes in the middle of the night when I was walking on the beach, the police car would stop and say, "Sir, are you walking? Are you having?" I said, "Yeah, I'm just having my nightly walk." And we would get friends, and by the end of the few minutes discussion, I would be discussing their challenges and their issues. And we would become friends because it was late at night. They would say, "What is this guy walking here?" So, so then, of course, for years, I applied the understanding of Mr. Jiddu Krishnamurti's lectures and wisdom to thoroughly understand the movement of the psyche. And then years, I tried to analyze it, decipher it, because it was not easy to understand this point unless you really try. So, and then years later, I expanded my research into neuroscience and from the masters and researchers, I learned about how I can deliver the concept of separation between brain and you. That you're not the brain and you're not you. I mean, you're not the brain and brain is not you. You're you. And where is that you? So I explored that quite a bit and learned from neurosurgeons' experiments in the lab, such as Dr. Sperry, Dr. Penfield, Dr. Owens, Dr. Leibet, their experiences and the discussions that in modern science was able to prove what Aristotle was talking about 1,000 years ago, but now scientifically proven. You're not the brain, and brain is not you, and they're separate systems. And therefore, through all that research and understanding, of course, I have to say a little bit about my own knack and ability to deliver and analyze and ponder and make things easier to digest. I've been able to offer the way I offer today to my clients and to people who are interested in enjoying knowing more about their psyche. I hope that answers your question. Jordi. Stuazi says, hi Meran, male 30, Serbia. Question regarding dating. How do I deal with a girl ghosting me after a good first date? She agreed to a second date during the first date, but when I wrote to her, ghosted. And I have another question regarding rejection. How do you stay enthusiastic about dating in general when you get rejected 99.99% of the time? You don't pay attention to that 99.99%. You pay attention to that 0.1% that says yes. That's your target. That's the hope. That's what you're searching for. You know, a man was walking on the beach and found a bucket full of oysters. Wow, he said. Started opening the oysters. Ah, no pearl in this one. Out. No pearl in this one. Out. No pearl in this one. Hey, caught them one after the other. 99 of them. There was only a few more left. He said, fuck it. There's no pearl in here. Kicked the bucket away and stopped opening the oysters. He got tired. The next person comes in and sees a couple of oysters left in the bucket. He opens one, there's a pearl this big in it. That means none of those that were open and didn't have oyster mattered. Only you're looking for that one. So you might have to go through 99 of them to find that one. But that's why you go through the 99, not to say, oh, 99 wasn't there, so I should give it up. Well, you know there is. So you keep looking. Never give up. Never give up. Never surrender. And in regards to a girl who ghosted you, well, then ghost deserves a ghost. Ghost her. Don't don't pursue a ghost. And many girls ask for, agree to a second girl, but your mistake is that you're trying to set a second date at the first date. Do not talk about second date in the first date. Just have the date and say goodnight. Later on, when you give certainty to a girl, most girls can't handle certainty. When they know they have you, if they are lacking confidence in their own mind, they will not want you because they say, I don't think I'm that great. If this guy wants to go out with me, and I don't think what's so special about me, and I have him, is no challenge, then I don't want him because maybe he's not good enough for me. Why? Because he wants me. The old saying that says, I don't want to belong to a club that takes me as a member. That means lack of confidence. So she doesn't want to go on a date with the guy who asks her for a date not because the guy is not good enough, because the girl herself doesn't have enough confidence in herself. So she questions the one who's asking me out must not be good enough. Why? Because I don't think I'm that much. Hmm? So when she ghosts you, then ghost her. Why would you want to be going out with someone who's just actually rejecting you or ghosting you or thinks he's better than you? Oh, the hell with her. Go on. But the mistake also is when at the first date, you're trying to secure a second date. That means you're desperate and you're showing extraordinary attention to the girl, which most girls cannot handle. I guarantee you, a girl who's into you and pursues you and wants you and desires you, and you give her what she wants and you do a lot for her, show your affection, she will move back because now you're no challenge. She got what she wanted. Now she's hesitating. Now she's questioning. Is he good enough? Why? Because he wants me. Well, isn't that the one that you wanted? Yes. But now he's reciprocating positively. Yes. But then that brings a question in my mind. She says that is he good enough for me? Well, isn't that what you wanted? Yes. Why is it that you think, well, because I'm not confident in myself? That's the problem. So sometimes when you really want to know if the girl is good enough or reliable, show more affection. And quickly you see if she's backing out, she's not your type. Let go. And never again ask girl for a second date at the end of the first date. Let her ponder, let her wonder, let her question. Is he gonna call me? Is he not gonna call me? You already gave it to her. Yeah, I'm gonna call you. You're great. I chose you. You're my selection. And as soon as the girls know that most girls, not all, most girls were not confident enough, once they know they already got what they want and they're selected, they become not interested. That's not you on you. That's on them. So these are the problems that you did, and the one who ghosts you doesn't deserve your attention. That's the end of that. Yeah, that's it. He says it was the at the end of the date when I tried to set up a second date. That's wrong. You think they think of it as your attention to them and your interest in them. You don't need to show your interest in them. You're already there. That means you're interested in them. Once you start setting up the second date at the end of the first date, then they see you overly excited and they can't handle it. You know? You want the truth. You can't handle the truth. And that's how they are. A few good men, if you haven't seen the movie. All right. Any other questions do we have, guys? It's been 1 hour and 39 minutes. If maybe a couple of more questions, and that's the end of the drink here. Okay, let me give something to Holy Shit to enjoy. I'll be right back in a second. Ash says, I know wow. Ich habe eine Jommel in der Throat. It means I got something stuck in my throat. In Deutsch. Mm. So, okay, I thought that would be interesting for the holy Scheiße. So, where's holy shit? That was for you. Did you see that? All right. So, once you guys come up with a couple of more questions, then we'll call it a day. All right. So now we have Stuart. He says, this with girls feels like playing five-dimensional chess. Yeah. And Jordy says, what is your opinion about paid love prostitution? Well, I had that discussion yesterday. Actually, a few days ago, and I have made a video on that for you, which is right here. You can watch this as the answer to a question. There is the respond. There's a video that is called Should You Pay for Sex? And that's the link for it. And Jody, that answers the question. Otherwise, it'll be 25 minutes of discussion. It's already on that video. And Swazi says, I saw the movie. Good reference. Oh, yeah. Welcome, Jody. All right, guys, it looks like we don't have any more questions, right? Should I hang around another couple of minutes or that's it? Should I let it go? I guess we'll just a couple of minutes. See, that's the whole thing. We don't get enough exposure. First of all, Orlando, if you're still there, let me know how did you manage so much text in one question? Because usually it cuts you off when it's more than like sentences, four four lines or three, 4 lines. But you have like 10, 11 lines here. How did you manage that? All right, guys, it looks like that we don't have any more questions or comments. So at this point, it's time for me to end the live stream. And so I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to our next live stream. In the meantime, promote the channel on your social media, the videos that you like, or any other way that you can. Help us reach more people and help more people. And in the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind that seekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.